Some more and fascinating information has come out about the May 4th Argentine attack on the British destroyer Sheffield. And according to the usually authoritative Aerospace Daily, a Soviet intelligence satellite played a key role in the eventual sinking of that ship. The newsletter said that the Cosmos 1355 satellite passed directly over the Falklands at 8:20 that morning and established the Sheffield's general location. That information was relayed to Argentina. Then a U.S.-made SP-2H Neptune patrol plane was dispatched by Argentina to get a specific location of the destroyer. The Neptune directed a French-built Super Etiennard jet fighter to the Sheffield. The plane got a radar fix about 50 miles from the ship, dropped to a low altitude, and fired its French-built Exocet missile. It scored a direct hit. All this happened in less than 4 hours from the satellite's first spotting the Sheffield. The loss of the Sheffield and of the Argentine cruiser General Belgrano to today's sophisticated weapons has raised new concerns about just how safe are modern fighting ships, especially aircraft carriers. Bill Lynch has been looking into this.
The carrier battle group is the pride of the U.S. Navy. But the same high technology that makes the big carrier such an awesome fighting machine can also make it a sitting duck. Packed with 100 warplanes and 6,000 men, nuclear-powered carriers are prime targets for enemy submarines and missile-firing planes. That's why they have so much company. 2 missile cruisers, 4 destroyers, 2 attack submarines, and dozens of planes and helicopters to fight off attacks. But the Navy concedes that heavy defensive screen just might not work.
That's the issue of vulnerability, that a smart weapon these days, if not successfully countered en route to the target, is probably going to hit. Then the issue becomes one of survivability.
Just as World War II flat tops survived kamikaze strikes, the Navy says today's carriers are built to absorb several missile hits and keep on fighting. An accidental missile firing on the Enterprise in 1969 touched off 9 500-pound bombs, the equivalent, says the Navy, of 6 Soviet cruise missiles. Despite heavy damage and 28 deaths, the carrier was operational again within hours. Military reformers in Congress agree big carriers can take more damage, but say it makes more sense in an era of smart weapons and tight budgets to buy smaller ships and more of them. Senator Gary Hart wants to trade 1 big carrier in the Reagan budget for 2 smaller ones, creating new problems for an enemy.
He would have to disperse his capabilities a lot more widely, and I think it's more than a question of him just buying more missiles or more torpedoes. It means that he has to build more submarines, build more bombers, and so on.
A tactical nuclear weapon, says Hart, could wipe out an entire battle group. Navy planners worry that the Soviets might use such weapons at sea where there would be no civilian casualties. Admiral Small disputes Hart's cost estimates, saying when it comes to carriers, more may be less.
Economies of scale show that it's much more cost-effective to have fewer ships if warfighting capability is the criterion.
The Navy wasn't surprised by the deadly accurate weapons in the Falklands War, but Hart predicts they will shape future decisions.
I think a lot of people in Washington and around the country have been sobered up by the ease with which it is possible to sink a major surface combatant.
The debate on big versus small carriers will continue, but with the Soviets now reported ready to build their own big-deck carrier, the Navy seems more determined than ever to reach its goal of a 15-carrier fleet. Bill Lynch, CBS News, the Pentagon.
The Navy won a round of that debate this evening. The Senate voted 2-1 to table an amendment by Senator Hart to trade a big carrier for 2 small ones, in effect killing the idea, at least for now.